Evening, ladies and gentlemen. A quorum of the Lake Boon Commission being present, all members. Call this meeting to order on January 17, 2019. How did I get 2017 on there? Public comment period. As usual, caveat, I think most of you know it. If anyone has anything that's not on our agenda, you'd just like to bring to our attention, we can't debate or take action on, but we might do so at a future meeting. Does anyone have any comments? Okay. Meeting minutes. We have, Chris has provided us with a set of minutes of our last meeting of December 5, 2018. I've looked them over and I didn't find any.
So we have one issue with them.
Oh, well, that's not a,
It's not an issue with the minutes, it's an issue with, we didn't close the motion.
I forgot to read that, my bad.
So first of all, no edits to the minutes?
No.
Okay, so then let's talk about
well,
the,
it's-
what,
He needs a motion to accept, which I will
accept the
do.
minutes.
okay?
Second.
Wait, who motioned?
We saved you from
But-
seconding your own.
Okay,
You moved, I seconded, and then we'll discuss that.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it was pointed out in the minutes that when we moved to request the $42,000 appropriation for weed management, that we didn't actually vote on it.
Guess we better do that.
I mean, we acted as if it had been voted
Exactly.
upon, so.
So we can do that under old business today?
I think it's, yeah, it's better to have it done.
Well, we have pay bills as an agenda item.
Well, it's close enough, yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that. Under paying bills, you don't
I have nothing this
nothing
time.
new? Okay, well, this is under payment of bills, anticipating payment of bills, how about that? It's been submitted to Hudson, right? And you have enough to cover
I have
that.
enough to cover in my
Yeah.
accounts already,
Okay,
so I didn't have to submit anything this year to Hudson.
yeah.
But I don't have the numbers with me.
Wait, so I'm not following which one we're talking about now. So we're talking about the motion that we made last time, which was to appropriate 42K to be used for the lake
But it
weed
wasn't
management.
seconded and voted
I understand,
upon.
so I don't know what this discussion is about. Hudson
So
has
he
the money
asked
or he
me-
doesn't have the
He
money.
asked me if we had submitted to Hudson to ask for that money, and the answer was
Okay.
no, we have not, because
Okay.
we don't need to.
But don't you need money for the following year?
Good question.
So are we changing our,
No.
okay,
No, we're
In the
not.
minutes of this meeting, someone should actually move.
yes, I think we should move this, make this same motion. So I will make a motion to approve the appropriation of the 42K to be used for lake weed management on Lake Boon to be contracted out to Solitude Lake Management.
And the proportion.
Oh, and the proportion being 14,000 Hudson, 28,000 Stow.
Moved?
So moved.
No, she moved it.
Oh, I'm sorry, second.
Okay, moved, seconded, any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
So it will be noted. So if anyone tracks it along the
Yep.
line, they will see the subsequent minutes corrected that oversight. And no more payment of any other bills. This is, next item, issue of use of salt on roads surrounding the lake was brought to my attention by a Barton Road resident. And I bring it here just to call it to our attention. The individual subsequently talked to Mike Clayton, highway superintendent, and received the answer that basically they try to minimize the use of salt. The caller had requested that they not use any salt, and he said, under his advice and his responsibility for road safety, he can minimize it, but he can't
Eliminate it.
eliminate it. There are reasons for doing so, because, you know, salt can wash in the spring and into the groundwater or directly into the lake, and it has bad effects. It can kill oxygen levels at the bottom of the lake, and I don't know, the salinity issues are not good. The question is, do we want to follow this up any further?
Well, we get the same request from Hudson, and I don't think we have any even authority on this.
We don't. The only thing we could do is talk to the Conservation Commission.
Yeah. The Hudson Concom called me and asked me if we had authority to regulate it. I said no, and I said, you guys do, but we don't.
That's right.
And that's the way I left it, so I don't think we need to follow up on it. And it's good, it's a issue someone brought up that's outside our jurisdiction, and the people, the other interesting thing about this is, there's been salt on the roads for years, but they used to put so much sand down, you didn't notice it.
Mm.
So I'm not so sure they're putting a lot more salt down than they ever did.
I don't think they're putting necessarily more, but some folks argue there shouldn't be any. And apparently that's not, as it, public safety comes first, unfortunately.
Could the LBC request the first street sweeping in the spring?
There's no
I
street
know
sweeping anymore.
Stowe doesn't do it anymore?
That's why they use, one of the reasons they use salt.
Hmm.
They do, well, I've seen them on a couple of roads in Stowe. Hudson just doesn't do it.
Well, okay, maybe I should say that wrong. They don't put down all the sand they used to put down. So, yeah, they still sweep streets, but they're not really,
During
yeah, I mean, it's just the normal maintenance of the streets. They're not, where before there used to be tons of sand that was down. Any salt would be gone as soon as we get rain anyway, or, you know.
In Stowe, they have some sort of pre-treatment that they do. It's a liquid, I don't know what it is.
It's brine, it's salt brine, a special
It's
version.
a brown stuff.
Yeah.
They put it out with a sprayer in the back of a truck.
Yeah, same thing in Hudson.
And it has the effect of keeping the road, the stuff from freezing so tight to the road, so that when they plow it, they can get down to
Yeah.
closer to the pavement. But I only brought it to attention here tonight. If you feel we should pursue anything, but I don't sense
I do not,
that.
anybody
Because
else?
it's nothing we have authority over.
No.
I certainly don't mind talking to Kathy.
Well, Kathy already knows, because Kathy called Pam, Pam called me. And I said exactly what you said. I said, Pam, we have no authority on it.
No.
You know, if you Concons want to do something good, but we don't have any authority, so we can't.
Well, there is another organization called the Lake Boon Improvement Association, which is its official title. And they are maybe bring it to their attention as somebody to bring from.
I'm with Mike Clayton. The first time you didn't do it and someone skidded on the ice and killed themselves, I think we'd have a big problem. I don't know. As they say in the military, right?
Well, we
beyond
have
our
the
grade.
president of the Lake Boon Improvement Association sitting here with us tonight.
But it's kind of like what you said, I mean, what can you really do though? You need it there for safety, I understand that, and I did see the salt from the last storm, but I think what happened is they predicted a storm to come through and it really didn't come through the way it did, so they dumped all the salt on it and it sat there for a while.
Mhm.
So, I mean, unless we all run around and sweep it up,
Well,
like you
plus
said, it kind of gets washed into.
And the
you know,
roads turn
watershed.
white now where they didn't used to because there was sand all over them, you didn't see it.
Well, that was the caller's point. The minute it's put down, it dissolves and it gets into the
Right.
groundwater.
Or just
What?
goes, washes
Yeah.
down into the
Yeah.
lake, which in some cases it would do.
Hopefully, most of it will go into the catch basins that we installed. with Barbara's help a few years ago, but
So more sand, less salt, or more sand with the salt? Because I think the last time they did it, it seemed to me like it was just a salt.
Hudson
treatment.
doesn't use sand anymore. None.
So you couldn't even request it then.
Nope, they've gone to this other mechanism.
as far as I know, we do both. Well,
So I would say we taken the input, I think we kind of table it next year, after this winter, we maybe decide whether we wanna spend time with COMCON and talk about if we feel like it's a weed management issue because of the nutrients or something.
It's actually the opposite. Salt kills weeds.
Really?
I thought it
Really?
killed a lot of
Is
other
that
stuff
true?
too.
Yeah,
but-
it is.
Oh, I thought it was another nutrient, huh? Alright, well, then I'd say,
In fact, if you take a piece of lawn and throw salt on it, and you take another piece of lawn and put oil on it, grass will grow where the oil is, it won't grow where the salt is.
okay, well,
All right,
I agree,
I'd
it's
say
not
that
our
we
jurisdiction.
take a note on it, and just informally, sometime when
Yeah.
I'm around here, I'll talk to Kathy Sparrow and see.
Oh, she's aware. I know
I
she's aware.
understand,
Yeah.
but I'm just conveying
Yeah.
the fact that we took notice of it. Okay, no action required other than that. The bylaws rules revision, I don't think anybody's proposing to revise
No.
anything. I just used that same heading to give us the most flexibility. So Conray, in taking,
You had asked me to take a look at them, and all I think I did was change some very minor
you have
errors.
where
This is
they
the-
are, so this is the one that we were looking at last time.
Yeah, I printed out the one that I sent to the town of Hudson.
And where did it change? I mean, commas or spelling or?
so I can show you where it changed.
Oh, you
I didn't have the two, yeah.
Okay.
So this whole thing is gone,
Yep,
so I don't know why, because we never said that should be gone.
but we never said it should be there.
Well, it's been there,
No,
Okay.
it's always been there.
so,
Okay, if,
So,
This heading.
yeah. So it's been part of our draft for
yeah,
a
I
year
know.
now,
Okay.
so
Let me
that's,
see it, John, 'cause I don't remember it without. I'll just look at it quickly, then I'll remember it.
You can take this one if you want, I got another one. You gotta just add this back in.
Yeah,
well, we shouldn't, don't say he should add it back in. We need one version that
That's
is the
right.
truth, that is.
okay, what else did?
Okay, so there's that piece.
I think
Then
I think I
rule
dropped
number
this out because it's not, I'll talk about it in a second,
Okay.
go ahead.
So rule number 5 changed, took some of the wording out, which I don't know
I did.
what, it was the ropes and brush that now says to prevent accident, which it previously said so as to prevent accident. I don't know why we would take that out.
You mean to prevent accidents?
After
It-
brush.
After brush, the
We had
draft
the
we
word-
approved was so as to prevent accident. And then you took the so as out, and it just now, on your version, says brush to prevent
I think
accident.
the so as was the original,
Yeah, and then we
language
had no
carried
reason
forward.
to remove it.
Okay, it didn't change anything.
but
I
it's
I
gotta
get
be
you.
identical.
Well, that's why, yeah, it has to be, yeah, it has to be identical in both of them. Well, I don't care either way on that one, it's nothing.
Okay,
but-
so-
Well, but then
Yeah.
take this one and mark up what you gotta put in.
Well, he's not gonna put it in. We need to have one version, which I'm the keeper of the version,
Okay,
right?
Okay.
So we're not gonna have a version, we're either sticking with exactly what version 1.1 was, which is not what's there, right? That's the one that we distributed. Or if we're gonna make some changes, we're gonna have version 1.1.
1.1, 1A, something.
Some,
Yeah,
we're
that- yeah,
gonna
if
change
we're
the version.
changing,
We can't have two that have the same
Right.
version, which right now there's confusion, right?
Right.
Because something went to Stow and then it also went to, I'm sorry, it went to Hudson and it went to Stow, so we should not be mucking with it under the same version. It's one thing to say we have another version, so the next change that's in Connie's is under the boating regulations.
Mhm.
and he added, of Massachusetts, so,
No, it took out
Regulation.
of Massachusetts.
nope, added.
No,
Yeah,
Oh, but
no.
it's
Where?
from the state of Massachusetts.
I guess up top, Lake Boon is a
Here,
great part of the
so-
state of Massachusetts?
nope, the Lake Boon, yeah, that's still there. Regulations, and then you added established by the state of Massachusetts. So previously, it just said,
By the state.
by the state.
Oh, I see. I did, I put Massachusetts in there.
Don't need to, it's already been identified. Everyone knows where we are.
So we're
Right.
leaving it the way we had it.
So leave it the way we had it.
Okay. It's a bigger problem in Stowe than Hudson, by the way.
What is?
I'll explain that in a few minutes, because
No,
it's...
Well, no, we gotta have one version.
No, that I agree with. No, I agree with that.
Okay. We
No,
can
but the
talk about
reason
the
the
process.
state of Massachusetts, in Stowe, you use bylaws and you incorporate state laws in your bylaws. So every time the state laws change, your bylaws have to change, which is one of the reasons it's kind of arduous in Stowe. Hudson does not work that way. So, I don't care, but it makes no difference to me. That's just I thought that was just a clarification. So, I would prefer to say, I would say the state of Massachusetts both times, but I don't care.
I don't, I mean, I'm okay if we do, we need to
Yeah.
agree that that's what we want
Yeah,
in
I,
there.
I don't see the necessity for it, since it follows right along with the state of Massachusetts above.
so you just want, there was just a period in the state before.
No,
No.
it was,
And is the voter's responsibility, that's all one sentence.
the first sentence kind of stays exactly the way it is in
Yeah.
both of ours. It's the second sentence that got added, of Massachusetts, instead of just saying established by the state.
So let's stick with the original, the version one.
And then you also took out and after that, so it sort of hangs into the it. So previously it said, and it is the voter's responsibility to know and follow those rules and regulations.
Oh.
And you took out the and.
Yeah, it's, because you don't need it. It's not good grammar to have and in there.
I don't know about that. I think it's actually better.
I don't think we're parsing grammar, I think we're just saying, this is what we voted on
Okay,
last time.
I don't care.
And it's the way it had been all the way along throughout, so just simplify
I think
things.
some of these things, my grammar checker suggested those errors, and I just looked at them as, okay,
Yeah.
just grammar. But go ahead.
So we're staying with that
As we originally
as
did.
is in
Okay.
version one.
And then D, under Rule 1 Speed D. So we had in there specifically on the Massachusetts state holidays of exactly what you're
Now,
enumerating.
I thought
And
we
you took
changed
out the-
that, I thought we voted to change that to what it says here.
No,
See, one of the problems is we never, we voted to make some of these changes at the last meeting, I think. Is my memory still
we
good?
added Columbus Day
Um,
is all we did. Well, sorry, we added the specific
days.
days
Right,
instead
right.
of just saying the Massachusetts state holidays.
Right. So the way this is wording now, I thought we voted to make it read the way this reads.
No, we just approved the minutes, what did we say in
Well,
the
it's
minutes? Did we have that specificity in there?
We talked about it, I remember that, and I screwed up, I didn't
It's
read
in
the
the-
minutes tonight, I'm sorry.
But I didn't put in the minutes exactly how everything was
No.
worded, so so,
See, one of the little gotchas here that I'll plead guilty to is that we actually talked about how we wanted to change stuff, but then and it should have been in the minutes, but then we didn't actually change everything, I don't think.
We did.
Did we? Then I missed it, because this is the way,
This- So version 1.0 came as a result of the discussions we had and what we agreed was the right tweaks, et cetera, on the 5th of December. So that's what's reflected in 1.0. And the rationale behind being clear that it's the Massachusetts state holidays of Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, is it's a very explicit date and it's government established. So there's no question about when's 4th of July, doesn't matter. Independence Day is whatever Massachusetts has defined it for on that year.
Which
We
it
aren't
is,
in,
yeah.
there's no ambiguity. If we just say holidays, is it,
Yeah.
well, you know, that's in particular, it's the Independence Day one that gets kind of dicey, but, so that was the reason for putting it in.
It doesn't change the effect of it at all.
no, what I'm worried about is especially on the 4th, we say Independence Day. Independence Day is one day a year.
Correct.
And if you say Massachusetts state holidays, are you now trying to say that if the state observes,
It's whatever the state, as Carolyn, I think, was
Yeah, we've
pointed
been
out.
through this.
The Secretary of
Yeah.
State puts out a list every year. The
Right.
following are state.
let's just say the 4th is on a Sunday,
If Independence Day,
right?
whatever day it is, that's what's defined in the state, by the state, whether it's on the 4th, or it's on the 5th, or it's on the 3rd, that the holiday is
Yeah.
whatever the state says it is. And it gets us out of the
Mhm.
confusion of, I have a Monday holiday on the 5th, which has been established as Independence Day, so is that a holiday, or is the holiday the
But the
4th, which
state-
was the Sunday,
The
or?
state doesn't determine what day is Independence Day.
Absolutely, they
They
do.
do.
That's
The
just it.
Secretary of State
It's-
puts out every year, the following shall be observed as holidays in the state of Massachusetts.
As
it-
holidays, but the confusion becomes
This is,
that,
this is what happens, they post
know.
that, and they'll tell you exactly which day is the observed holiday. And that's the day that we need to observe for that holiday as quiet time. And if one of those happened to fall on Sunday, then we wouldn't have a separate day, but that, I don't think that ever happens.
oh, it sure does happen. I mean,
Well,
the
it doesn't in this way.
4th The 4th never falls on Sunday?
The 4th does, but the Independence Day holiday does not. So if the 4th is a Sunday, Massachusetts will say that the 5th, in that case, is the holiday.
It's observed on that day, not that it changes.
It
the
doesn't
date.
change when the 4th is, it changes when Independence Day
That's
holiday
right.
is. Which is why we worded it the way that we did.
Yeah, well, I thought we worded it this way. I thought we changed it to this way because the 4th is the 4th, period.
But that's not what we're,
No.
yeah.
Okay,
We particularly pegged it to this, that's why we did it.
okay,
As you said, to get us out of the
okay.
crosshairs.
Okay, and then there was
So
another,
there's no change, we're
to
sticking
that.
with everything on page 1 and 2 so far.
just one more on that, on D. The later in that paragraph, other non-motorized uses of the lake. And then for some reason,
Where are we?
on the same one, D, Rule 1, speed D.
No, the
So later
non-
in that same paragraph there, for some reason, you took out the "and" between, in the last sentence,
And the
between
maximum
lake,
speed of any
and-
motorboat.
yeah.
Oh, I don't care, that's grammar. And, you know, my grammar checker says that's not the right way to do it, but,
No, but
so, that's all that was. I would have pointed that out earlier. a lot of times when we use ands and buts and things like that, they're really not good English, but that's just the way I
We're
was
dealing
taught.
with an antique piece of legislation here too,
That's just
so.
the way I was taught.
Okay.
Those things glare out at me for some reason,
Well,
so I don't care.
the time to have grammar checked that was before we moved it,
Yeah.
and it doesn't change the
Okay,
effect of when
so-
up in the house.
So now, we're keeping things exactly as they were in the original version 1.0, but now we have this problem of there's a second version.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do, because you created one which
We
you
don't have a
gave,
problem, trust me. You
The-
don't- you
Hudson
don't-
has it, but also Stowe got it. So
Well-
Linda had that one,
Okay, so
so
just
now-
republish this one, that's all.
but now we,
Rev it up one
okay,
level.
I think we're gonna have to rev it.
Rev it one level.
Okay, that's what we'll
And
do.
we can republish it.
That's the final adopted recommendations.
Yes.
Okay,
Because there were no further changes.
correct. That was the only things I saw, to be honest with you. And
No, it was,
I went through it,
outside of the one Massachusetts, it was mostly grammar in my mind.
yeah, and then the whole paragraph that got removed.
Yeah, well, that doesn't really change anything, but you're right.
Well, it either is part of our document or it isn't.
I hear you.
But if we're saying this exact document,
Yeah, so the
Yes.
question really then becomes, if we're going to rev this again, do we need that little preamble up front?
yes,
Okay, why?
because it's always been there, and we didn't vote to take it out.
Yet.
Well,
So we're revving this thing right now, so we could vote to take it out if we wanted to.
Is
So
there
my
any
question is, do
compelling
we need
reason
it?
to take it out?
Or is there, well, it's just simple, the less is better rule.
Well,
But, is there any compelling reason to keep it in? It's not a regulation.
it clarifies for anyone under what authority these bylaws and rules exist. So
That's right.
that's what it's there for.
the only thing we
It's-
changed out of that whole thing in discussion was,
one.
we took out 713, which was in there
Inaccurate.
incorrectly.
Right.
We never discussed deleting it. It's just an introduction.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna go to court and say you violated anything about it.
I could ask my town clerk a question on that. I've got no problem here. It's part of the way the two different towns operate. But no, you can leave it in. I can leave it in.
It's been there,
I hear you, But what you don't know is that the town of Hudson operates differently now than we did way back when. And what I was told by both my clerk and town manager was, hey, guess what, we don't operate that way anymore. And I'll explain that to you in a minute. So I don't care, if you wanna leave it in, leave it in. If my town clerk doesn't like it, then I'll have to come back to you, that's all.
well, we
It
can't
doesn't
keep
change-
doing this.
It doesn't change our regulations. We can if we wanted to, because there is no pressure in Hudson now, because Hudson does not require a warrant on the town meeting to make these regulations go into effect. All they require is my signature. I sign it, we give them a true tested copy, and it happens in Hudson, that's all there is to it. But it does require
The whole document, including voting regulations, doesn't?
these. So in Hudson, what they did is they took our regulations that we've had for so many years, they're not bylaws. Hudson is separate out, it's true for dog catches, it's true for a whole bunch of rules in Hudson now. They're rules and regulations, they're not bylaws. And don't ask me, I'm not a lawyer to explain it all. I just know,
So does it even have to go on the warrant?
nope,
So we have nothing that's going to your town warrant?
nope.
Okay.
As soon as we give them a true and tested copy and I sign it, it'll become,
Okay, but you can't do that until we've gotten it through Stowe's town, because
Mhm.
otherwise,
We can't have
we
one
can't
set.
have one enforced and not
Right.
the other. Because
They have
until
to be-
they
it's
should be
approved.
identical in both towns, that is correct.
Right, so until it's approved at
Okay.
town meeting for
I'm not
us.
gonna do it in Hudson.
Right, okay.
So in that case, why do we need to have a different rev number on it? Because we just said this is. as it-
Because
Just
we have
for
something
clarification.
out there that someone could look and say, oh, I've got version 1.0 dash December 5, and have the original one, and someone else could have the one that Connie did, and we have no way of knowing.
He doesn't have any rev number on it at all.
Right.
The file is labeled.
The file is labeled, the printout is not.
The file is
labeled.
labeled, so we
Okay.
have to do something that distinguishes it.
So what do you want it to be?
So we can either do,
Just rev it one
we can
level.
either do 1.0, or we can do 1.0 final, but we have to do something that distinguishes. I'd prefer to do 1.1,
I agree.
Because this one said, had a date of December 5 on it.
correct.
So make the motion the way you want
Okay, so,
it. Be identified.
yeah, so I make the motion to adopt the wording of the original version 1.0 as written, but revved as version 1.1.
So moved.
Okay, before I second it.
Yep.
That date in there.
Yeah, so what date do we want on there?
Well,
This is in fact,
if we're adopting a different version technically by
Yep.
changing the
Yep.
number of it,
Yep.
it should be today's date.
okay, that's fine. So, you want me to amend my motion?
Yeah.
Okay, so, as written, revved as version 1.1 and dated January 17th, 2019.
To the 17th.
So I said January 17th,
Today's the
2019.
17th, I think.
Okay.
That's what I wrote down in my notes anyway.
All right.
All right, the motion
Any-
is seconded.
Yes. I did second. Or you seconded, I made the motion, so moved.
I
She
made the
moved it.
motion, I made the motion,
I'll second.
okay.
The motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hopefully not. Not to vote, in favor say aye.
Aye.
Done.
Okay.
So we'll give you one,
Yeah, should just.
Yes, I will.
Send it to
I'm not
you.
gonna do anything in Hudson until you guys.
Keep
get
it
to
in the
tell me.
file, do whatever you got
I'm
to
doing
do.
nothing,
As long as,
cause you gotta get through your
That's right.
town meeting. And now that I know what the process in Hudson is, you know, it's easy. Hudson's much easier. The only thing I saw, are we going to the next agenda item?
yeah, go through with that.
The only thing I saw is you had sunrise and sunset confused in one of the, in the rules that you wrote out.
Why didn't you bring it up when we were going through it?
What?
Which one, first of
No,
all,
the-
which one?
Not that.
What?
Your
Your minutes?
No, your next,
Oh,
annual
you mean in
report.
the agenda? Oh, we're on to the, okay,
I thought we were on to the report.
okay. That's all right, got it now, we're just
Okay, now
catching
we
up.
are. Okay,
So, in the report,
we are in the report.
I'll show you. You're just heading backwards, that's all. Right here, from sunrise to sunset, the lake speed limit is. No, it's sunset to sunrise, not sunrise to sunset.
That's right, so those are just inverted.
Yeah. I thought you were trying to make it headway speed all the time.
This is an annual report,
know.
it doesn't have any force of law,
I know.
but to be consistent, you're right.
That was the only thing I saw wrong.
And that's my document, so I'll correct that.
So I had a couple of questions.
Okay.
So I know I went back to the 2017 to see, and I know you did mention in the 2017 one that it was like a first partial year of
Mm-hmm.
kind of, but that doesn't, is that true? I thought all of 2017, we had no responsibility whatsoever for patrolling. We had already gotten all of the information. It's been in the budget for, so to me, this is actually the second full year of us having no responsibility for patrolling.
Last year was the first time they put the money in the police budget. In last year's report, they said it was a partial year. Is that correct?
I think so. But I'm just saying that that, to me, that's, we're now in the second year. We had no responsibility. I thought we were very clear last year, a year ago plus, right, 2017.
When did you come on board?
June of 2017. July, 2017.
So that particular year, when you came on board,
Yeah.
was when the confusion was cleared up during that year sometime.
No, I thought the year before, that was when Teresa was here, that was cleared up. I guess it may be a
Let's
moot
take out the
point.
reference to it. How about that?
Why don't we just say 2000, maybe just, yeah,
Because, let me just finish my other
Yep.
thought, because when you came on board, it's the same time that Lee got appointed safety officer for the lake. They happened at the
By
same
the town
time
of Stow.
by the town of Stow, so.
no. Oh, well, that's true, but he had already left and was doing that. Because
He-
Teresa filled his slot.
No, you're talking about commissioners, no, Teresa did not fill his slot.
She did.
No,
Oh,
she
no,
didn't.
you filled his slot.
Right.
Right, so that was 2016, right? Okay, anyway, go ahead.
So, when Lee left the commission, and then you ended up getting that appointment.
No, he got that
You
appointment.
got Lee's appointment? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's when, that was the first year
It was
that Lee.
2016.
That was 2016. That would have been the first year that, Lee did not patrol.
Okay, so she's right then. Just, I have first full season, it should be second.
Second full season.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll make that change. You're taking,
Yes,
okay,
was the,
okay.
You're making me hurt my brain going back and trying to remember some of
I
this.
will. So, and then I know this is it was true in the previous, write-up, but the jet skis, specifically the jet ski, information here. So we don't have anything in our bylaws or whatever. We let state regs cover jet skis. So I wondered why we were calling that one out here. Everything else seems to be our rules that we're just making people more aware
because they
of.
were an undue issue for a
Okay.
number of them.
Okay, so
And
it just
it was a specific thing to call this to the attention
okay,
of people.
It's very difficult to operate a jet ski legally on the lake.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
They're banned on
Yep.
any body of water under 75 acres. Pat Walrath was the state rep when that was changed. I caught it just before, and I said, wait a minute. The first basin, I don't think it's 75 acres. And you really have three separate lakes here. But by the time I pointed out to her, she tried to do something. In the legislative process, it was too late.
Okay, I'm good. I just wondered about that.
Okay.
But on the next one, the possession of alcoholic beverages, in the middle of that, grass as well as, I don't know, when I saw it, it says 59.
Yeah, where the heck did that come
What is
from?
that, what was that supposed to be?
I don't know. My fingers must have hit something. when I was
Just as.
Because it was a cut and
Nothing at
paste.
all,
No,
so just wrote.
just
wrote
delete
it,
that. That's
Okay,
Scrivener's error.
okay.
You got something in here.
I do, I'm trying to read my own writing. I was just, so I guess just somehow the way it was worded didn't feel quite right, so, the
There must have
rules
been an
and
and in
how, yeah, and how they interact with state and environmental police laws. And I think it said, comma, began in 2017, comma, or period.
The systematic review began in 2017. The rest of it is just further descriptive. We began our process last year.
Yeah, okay, it's fine, but,
Okay.
And then, did you have a comma and then as of this writing, was that all a run-on? No, you had it, okay, that's fine. And then the Barton Dam piece is, even though it's not our jurisdiction, it's just informational
Yes.
because of care, okay?
People are interested in it.
And then on the next paragraph, Lake Boon has been for many years been, so remove the first been.
Right.
Okay. Okay,
That's it?
yep,
And
so,
So we have a
let
motion
me,
to adopt the, one with the changes noted on this copy, which I will make, and I'll send it to you. You can get it, because it's put
Yes.
in.
Are you making the motion, or are you saying?
No, we're
that-
just
Okay.
still discussing.
Yeah,
So we'll make a motion, we'll approve this, and then you'll get me a copy of the changed copy.
yes.
And then
And
we
take
can
out the
submit-
word up here, that comes out
Yeah.
draft. This is,
Yeah,
it'll just say annual report, Lake Boon
Right.
Commission. So you wanna move that?
I'll move that the annual report as amended be approved.
Second?
Seconded.
Made and seconded, no further discussion. All in favor? Say aye.
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 So then, the action is, so Don will make this and copy two.
That's it.
Okay.
New business for next meeting?
I don't have it.
Don't know when, I don't think we normally hold monthly meetings during the winter.
No.
We wouldn't have had this one if we didn't have to clean up a few ands and commas.
Well, I think it's a little more than that, because I wanted to talk about the processes in the two different towns.
I don't understand it, but as long
And
as
I,
it passes
I
muster.
didn't want to do that over the phone or individually.
No, you can't.
Yep.
So
You can't, you're
I
right.
did want a meeting to at least explain
Okay.
Yeah.
what was going on. So, yeah, that's the real reason I wanted
Well,
this meeting.
I guess I can understand it with the general stuff. I don't understand when it comes to the voting, because the state law says you have to send the changes
Um,
to Division of Law Enforcement.
Yeah, so,
But-
maybe the voting pieces, but, I don't know, Don, again, I'm not a lawyer, but what I got told is that because it's not a bylaw, we don't need state approval. But, that's what they told me. I can only pass it on. And evidently, the way the town of Hudson runs its business, they changed this stuff on purpose so they wouldn't have to keep running to the state. The state has to approve bylaws. So in Stow, if this becomes a bylaw, yeah, it's gotta go to the state.
It's part of the police regulations it's in our town bylaws, the voting part. The rest isn't.
Don't know, I can only tell you what I was told.
Yeah.
What I was told was that there is
Because-
a way that the state
Yeah.
has to approve bylaw changes.
Because the original part, the general about brush and holes and the ice and all the rest of that stuff, the state doesn't have to approve it. We go back to the original legislation in which the state said, you can't make voting rules.
Right.
But these aren't voting rules.
I got you on that.
So that's the distinction on the adoption of those two sections.
But what I was told again, right, and I don't
All
want
right,
to defend either
right.
way, is right,
Right.
is as soon as you create a bylaw, it has to go to the state for approval. So I don't know. All I know is that
Okay.
once you guys get it approved in Stowe, we can talk about it, and Hudson's easy.
Might take a while, because it'll be after the town meeting in May. We have to submit it.
You have to, we don't.
Right.
I know,
But you
but the
can't-
final adoption and enforcement of any changes cannot be done until you've satisfied, I understand, you say you've satisfied your requirement, we have to satisfy a requirement.
Correct.
And then,
And from what I understand, again, because yours is a bylaw change in the town of Stow, and I could have this wrong, but because, what I was led to believe was because yours is a bylaw change, you're gonna have to go to the state for that approval. So we won't be able to come back to Hudson until the state has approved your bylaw change.
Correct, that's what I was
that's
thinking.
correct.
So,
We're
okay,
in agreement on that.
okay, so,
Until that happens, until and unless that happens, the old,
One stay in
those are in
force.
Stay in
effect,
effect.
nothing's
Yep,
changed.
exactly.
Okay, we're,
Yep.
yep.
hey, I think we just agreed on something. Yeah, so,
We're
so-
gonna start 2019,
yeah, so all I'm waiting for then is for that whole process to
Yes.
complete.
yes.
And once it's completed, then we can come back to Hudson.
Then is it worth asking Linda or someone on our side to have a conversation with their counterpart in Hudson, just to understand, if there's more understanding we need to have?
You don't need to. I've already talked to Joan, they were already talking to each other.
Do you want us to talk to Linda?
Yes, and it's just, because the towns run so differently.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, they do talk to each other.
Yeah.
And the town managers go to, there's some sort of state town managers thing they go to,
mhm.
where some of these things also are brought up. So,
All right.
but
The
every town
minutes
in
will
the state
reflect
can
that-
run differently, and does.
Under administrative practices of the town of Hudson,
Mhm, got that.
uh,
Yep.
all that's required is approval by the commission.
Connie's
Your
right.
transmission signifying that. So,
Yep.
okay. Nothing else, right?
Okay, so date of next meeting, none? At this
To be
point?
decided.
Okay.
If somebody
Yeah, to be
has-
decided.
Yep.
The other quick thing on that, you just mentioned something, what was it, goes in and out of the old brain too quickly these days, I don't know,
Next meeting?
next meeting, we'll TBD.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you had something, I
No,
was trying
no.
to
Oh, I'm sorry.
trigger it.
No,
I'm gonna give you this back. I don't wanna confuse my.
No, it's okay. It had something to do with the way the towns operate. Oh, I don't know. Oh, town charters. So the way the towns operate is established by town charter, and town charters are very difficult to change, I've been told. You would know more as a selectman than I
Yes.
would.
The
But,
Charter Review Commission, which is supposed to be done, I think, every 10 years or something.
yeah, so the way you operate is in your charter, I believe, or at least I've been told. I don't know. All above my pay grade.
Yeah. Okay,
Motion to adjourn?
Seconded?
non-debatable.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.